was the chairman of the board, swerving in the Ford. Game sharp like George Gervonta with the sword. I ain't the one to ignore.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. rips Gervonta Davis. Every time he fights, it's somebody I don't know. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, Teofimo Lopez Sr., not Jr., not Teofimo Lopez, who was the unified champion of the world, but Sr. recently gave an interview and he was discussing the competition level of Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Now, Sr., not Jr., Teofimo Lopez Sr. basically said that he feels like every time Gervonta "Tank" Davis fights, even though Tank Davis is popular, he's always fighting poor competition. And this is something that I think fight fans have been saying about Terrence Crawford for a long time. Now, is there a difference between how Terrence Crawford went about it and how Gervonta "Tank" Davis went about it? I think so. I think Tank Davis's competition level has been a little bit better than Terrence Crawford's. If you were to compare both of those guys' resume, like Tank at 130, 135, and Terrence Crawford at 147. You know, most people will say, well, Terrence Crawford had all his best fights at 140, but he's been at 147 for so long. It's almost like you got to rate anything that anybody says about Crawford off his 147 resume, not his 140 resume, because he's been at 147 more than 5 years, I believe now. So when you compare both of those guys in the competition level, you look at Tank and the way he's been winning, I think that's the biggest difference. It's like Terrence Crawford's been winning, he's been knocking guys out at 147, but Tank has been dominating his competition at 130, 135. It hasn't even been a competition, to be honest with you. It's been Tank getting in the ring and those guys realizing at the last second that they're super overmatched and there's really nothing that they can do with that guy. You know, like I said in previous videos, when you watch Tank, it's almost like he's hypnotized his opponent because he moves at such a slow pace, at his own pace, and his opponent's really not trying to do anything. They're not trying to attack him. They're not trying to come forward. They're just trying to react to what he's doing. And by the time they do throw a punch, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has already knocked him out. So, you know, I don't agree with Teofimo Lopez Sr. when he says that Tank has been fighting nobodies, or every time he fights somebody, it's somebody you don't know. He knocked out some competition that I think people thought would have given him a better fight, and he knocked them out cold. And some of those guys have even moved up in weight, you know, even though they might have lost when they moved up in weight, but they did move up in weight and they're still campaigning. So it's not like he beat up some slouch fighters or some smaller fighters or some guys who really weren't on his level. He's just a step above everybody. I think that's what Teofimo Lopez Sr. is missing. He's missing the fact that Gervonta Davis his talent level is just above those guys. So even if you put him in the ring with somebody you perceive to be better than him or on his level or better than your favorite fighter, he's always one notch above. And it's masterful to watch. You know, he's a masterful fighter. He's a masterful boxer. He does everything at the highest level, whether it's power punching, whether it's using your ring IQ, whether it's, you know, boxing, orthodox boxing, if that's what you want to call it, whether it's being a showman. You know, he does it all at the highest level. How many other fighters are doing backflips off the top rope after they knock somebody out? You know, it would be insane to see Mike Tyson do some crap like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give Gervonta "Tank" Davis pats on the back all around. You know, I don't agree with Teofimo Lopez Sr. when he says the competition level isn't good. I think the competition level for Tank has been good enough. It hasn't been the best. Like no champions want to fight him. It's almost like Boots. It's like, the fights that Boots needs to make, he can't make them because nobody will give him the opportunity. It's the same thing with Tank. Everybody sees the talent level, and he's winning at a high level and a high clip, and he's knocking people out at the highest level, and he's doing it in stellar fashion, like ridiculous knockouts. But the fights we really want to see him in, people don't want that smoke, and it's just a sign of the fight game of today. It's not what it used to be. Back in the day, you were fighting for money. You were fighting for pride and money. These guys are rich off of one fight nowadays. They can do one fight. Look at Rolly Romero. Nobody knew who he was. He came in, got one good fight, and he's pretty much rich for life, and he don't even got to do nothing. So these guys, I don't think these guys today, they want to push themselves to the level of fighters of the past. Fighters of the past definitely had to prove themselves differently than fighters today have to. There was no internet back then, so you couldn't just say something crazy and go viral, or do something crazy on a speed bag and go viral. Mike Tyson wasn't popular because of virality. He didn't go viral to become a popular fighter. He had to get in that ring and prove it over and over and over again. And I feel like that's the biggest difference between, old school boxing and new school boxing. Is the new school boxers, their fan bases are right in front of their face 24 hours a day. And these people are patting you on the back and rubbing your head and telling you you're the greatest. After one good fight, 24 hours a day, they're all on your timeline, just riding you 24 hours a day. So you get a false sense of reality. You might only have 20 fights, where it might have taken a guy in the 90s 40 fights to be as popular as you are, because there was no virality involved. And I think that, once again, is the biggest difference. And I think that's a detriment to a lot of these fighters, because instead of having your skill sets sell you as a fighter, your popularity is selling you as a fighter. And as soon as one thing goes wrong, as soon as you take a loss, fans turn you off and tune you out. And that's the crazy part about it, because the old generation, they want all their fighters to be undefeated, and they can walk around with their shoulders up and their head up and feel all masculine. But as soon as their favorite fighter takes a loss, tuned out and turned off. So, the social media age is definitely doing some work on these fighters of today. And even the trainers, Teofimo Lopez Sr., I think he's saying what he's saying more for the virality of the moment and not the truth, because we all know Tank Davis is the truth. Ain't no denying that. So y'all hit that like button for me, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More likely to get a response on the tube. Holler at me over there. If you want to collab, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com, and we are mad here.
Look, 1 blunt, 2 blunts, 3 blunts, 4 blunts, now I'm high in a bitch. Nigga, 1 bird, 1/5, I'm nerd. Yo, chick, now I'm high in your bitch. And I must admit, she looking real thick in that fit. Soon as you leave, I walk up, gripping her hips, have her flipping the script, convince her to strip. You at home shooting free throws, flicking your wrist, but hold up, don't let me get ahead of myself. If you really wanna better your health, getting out of my area helps. What these young niggas carry, you melt your whole clique. She swallowed the whole dick, oh shit. Now let me slow down, cause I'm off the heavy road now. They didn't know, I bet they know now. I rep the hometown, Lewis Keys, nigga, let's go. Let's go, my West End niggas, let's go. My East End niggas, let's go. Louisville, let's go, nigga, let's go. Let's go, nigga, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, yo. Yo, it's sorta like NASCAR. How these niggas niggas take wheels off of fast cars, we not right. About to shine like dandruff and neon lights. Know you feel the shit that we on, right? I got your bitch and she's on pipe, taking pictures of herself. And if you're really slanging, you're snitching on yourself. So look at it that way. Why I'm looking at your rat from the back way. Then I'm looking for a black in the ashtray.